This is astrology reading for Leigh Bannon. Leigh, you were born on December 3rd, 1970. Time is 5:05 a.m., Toronto, Canada. Everybody's astrology chart that I do, I always like to look at the numerology first. So the numerology, the numbers, you were born on December the 3rd, 1970. That adds up to 1985. Then I added a cross. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 5 is 23. 23 reduces to a 5. In the tarot deck, the 5 is what we know of as the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is the card in the tarot deck that is your lifetime symbol. So what I'd recommend at some point, if you had an interest, is to find a tarot book and read about the Hierophant quite a bit. In my numerology, I just had it right here, I am a 22-4. The 4 is the Emperor card in the tarot deck. So what I like to do is I go through and I just wrote down a lot of stuff because I'm in a 4-year this year. Mm-hmm. And then I just read it, and reread it, and reread it, and reread it, because it's all about you. It's the study of the self. So in the same way, you could read about the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the teacher. So people who are the 5 have a love for learning, which I think the 5 is very related to you being a Sagittarius with the sun in Sagittarius, because Sagittarians are the same way. Sometimes they're the teacher, sometimes they're the student. But the Hierophant people who have the Hierophant as the ruling number, love to learn. They love to travel. They love to expand their consciousness. Keep growing and keep growing. Again, sometimes you like to be the teacher, sometimes being the student, so that you can go easily between. The Hierophant is also related to the family. So there's a lot of learning within the family, a lot of family issues. One of the things that I'm aware of in listening to you talk is that you've got the program. You know, we learned how to sneeze. Everybody in my family sneezes like this, and something you were saying today at lunch, I forget what it was, but, you know, and we're all this way, of course. We learn the program from our family, and then the task of yoga is to kind of help undo the program a little bit, because you're much bigger than that. So this is just some of the basic things about the number 5. And again, I would encourage you to look in the Tarot Handbook or any kind of Tarot book that you find, and read about the Hierophant number, the 5. You're a number 5. There's also things like many different kinds of numerology books. Keywords for the 5. You value your sense of freedom. You break out of restrictions. Follow your sense of curiosity. Don't be afraid to promote and explain yourself. Matters of dangers. Watch out for mood swings, hurtful, unnecessary verbal sharpness. That is really in your chart. You have an aspect here that really indicates the potential for verbal sharpness. And it's interesting that it's also in the 5. See, to me, I always look at the numerology because the astrology and the numerology, they cross a lot. I see this quite a bit. Matters of the future, hard work, energy, and action will assure steady progress. Sudden and unexpected change may come your way. Okay, so the 5. The present year, 12/3/2003. 3 plus 3 is 6, 8, 1, 2, 10, 11. So in the present year, you're an 11, and an 11 reduces to 2. It's a very, very, very good number. Last year you were in a 10-year. 10-year reduces to 1. Last year was a year of new beginnings. So we would think that 2002 was a time of new beginnings. Now I know that you just ended your job, and interestingly that you had said earlier in the week that, you know, I probably should have done this earlier, but I didn't. Because really we would have thought that 2001, when you were in a 9-year, that you would have done a lot of the endings in 2001. And here it was the beginning of the 2-year that you finally got out, but you did. The 11 in the tarot deck is the Strength and Lust card. Lust, not meaning lust, it means luster.
Oh, okay.
So when we're in an 11 year, It's a very creative year. We're in our luster. The luster is the prana. The luster is the prana showing itself as like a shininess, a goldenness. It's a very creative year, the strength and the lust year. So that's really nice to know, and especially since you have freedom now that you can do many, many different things that you want. The 11 reduces to 2. 1 plus 1 reduces to 2. The 2 in the tarot deck is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is a lot about intuition. The 1 is the Magician. The 2 is the High Priestess. Really, the High Priestess is like the Magician. She's just the feminine counterpart of the Magician. So really, in the 11-2 year, Leo on the midheaven tells me it's really not that good for you to be working in a corporation. You could be, well, I mean, you were designing through fashion, through being an interior designer, creating things, being an artist, being a public speaker, because Leo likes to be up on stage. Leo has a sense of flair, drama, okay, likes to be seen. So there's a way in your career that you could really be very creative and really be out in front of the public eye. Okay, we'll move on. I think the 3 major things you want to remember is that you're a Scorpio rising. The sun is in Sagittarius. Of course, you know that you're a Sagittarius. The sun is in the 2nd house. And then the moon is in Aquarius in the 3rd house. Those are the 3 main things. The rising sign being the outer persona. The sun is at 10 degrees Sagittarius. The sun is deep down who we are. Okay, it's like if we think of ourselves as an evolutional being going through many, many lives, well, the sun represents your accumulated soul wisdom, what you're bringing with you in this life, accumulated soul wisdom. Okay, so we'll start there. The sun is at 10 degrees Sagittarius. Sagittarius and the 9th house are the same thing. So Sagittarians love to travel. They love to explore. They want to keep growing, expanding their boundaries, learning. That's a lot like being the Hierophant, the major number, your lifetime number. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. This is Jupiter here. Jupiter looks like a number 4. Jupiter is the guru planet. So abundance, prosperity, the grace of God, travel, learning, growing, exploring. It's very important qualities for somebody who's a Sagittarian. Loves to grow, loves to travel, loves to explore, keep expanding the boundaries. Sagittarius is a fire sign. There are 3 fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag. I think of Sagittarius, though, being the most benevolent, because Sagittarius is ruled by is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is a benevolent planet. And again, it's the grace of God. So Sagittarians will tend to be very uplifting, very optimistic. They tend to see the bright side of things. Now understand, everything in astrology is layers. On the other hand, you're a Scorpio rising, which could be depth and intensity and going below the surface. Where Sagittarius generally likes to be above the surface, optimistic, seeing the good side of people, these kinds of things. Sagittarius. Okay. The sun is also in the 2nd house. So the houses go, the 1st house is Aries, the 2nd house is Taurus, 3rd house is Gemini, okay? So when the sun is in the 2nd house, it also means you're like a Taurus. Okay, Taurus, we know that the Taurus is on the descendant. 2nd house is like Taurus, so you are a Sagittarius, but the sun being in the 2nd house, it's the most important planet. It means you're also like a Taurus. So the 5 senses are very important. Like to be touched, like to be in contact. Sagittarius likes to feel secure. Taurus likes to feel secure, needs to feel safe. I like to have money in the bank. I like to have a sense of home. These qualities are really important for somebody who has strong Taurus in the chart. Well, the sun being in the 2nd house, it's like you're a Taurus. Yes. You like to have warm, fuzzy clothing, don't like to be cold, the whole thing about going into the pool. I mean, you're of a slender body, so that could be one reason. But Taurus likes to feel fuzzy, warm, safe, secure, This is qualities of the Taurus. The second house is also the house of money. Taurus is the sign of money. So when the sun is in the second house, it means having money is very important to you. Having money in the bank. It means with the sun in the second house, again, the sun is the most important planet. You'll be very good all your life at securing the five senses, because that's what Taurus is. With the sun there being the most important planet, you're going to have a nice home. You're going to have money in the bank. You're going to be able to have good food and good wine and whatever. Because the sun is the most important planet and it's in the second house, you are going to always be able to secure and take care of your five senses, which is nice. Mm-hmm. You'll always be able to make money.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, a big change. You had a really big change. I don't have my ephemeris. This is what we call an ephemeris. It lists every planet, every day of the year. So an ephemeris goes for 100 years. So if I had my big ephemeris with me, I could look back and see when Pluto was at 10 degrees and was exactly conjuncting your sun. But I was at Esalen, and I believe that it was in 2000. The year 2000. Pluto moves very slowly. It's the outermost planet in the solar system. Remembering it is the ruler of Scorpio. So when Pluto, right now today, is at 19 degrees Sagittarius. But Pluto, when it was at 10 degrees, which is your sun of Sagittarius, I think it was 99 in 2000. Mm-hmm. So when Pluto conjuncts the sun, it means you go through a very big and intense change in your life. It means when Pluto, because Pluto is the transformer, and when it's conjuncting your sun, it means you have to move to a higher level of being. So you're shaking your head. So there was a big change, 99 and 2000?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, what was it?
I decided that that was the point at which I realised that I didn't know myself, I didn't like myself, and I didn't like where I was,
mm-hmm.
both physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I left where I was working, moved elsewhere, and I removed a partner that was not helping,
mm-hmm.
and I started counselling and various other things.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's exactly the kind of things you would want to do when Pluto conjuncts the sun. I have to let go. I need to move to a higher level. Self-loathing, I have to let that go. I need to learn about myself, come more into self-love. And once the transit is finished, Pluto conjuncting the sun, I'm operating on a higher level of being. Because you're a Scorpio rising, you're going to keep doing that in your life. Mm. But that was a big dose in 99 and 2000. Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that fascinating?
It is, yeah.
See, this is how I know this stuff works.
Yeah.
I don't need to convince Thomas or anybody else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I want to work with the people who want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know.
What's a little bit depressing about that is that you do hope that you reach a point where you do become happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And what this is suggesting is that I'll just keep evolving, and I will probably always question and always be unhappy.
I think that's right. Because it's also the Sagittarian quality is I want to keep growing. I want to keep expanding. And I would say to you, though, that there is a level of happiness. There is a level of peacefulness. I've been working my ass off on myself for so long, but I just keep, here I am again. I'm looking for artwork and this creative outlet. And it's going to be the same for you. So you will have a level of happiness. But you are supposed to transform and change a lot. So is everybody. Most people don't go for it. Like most people don't do what you did. They just keep doing the shit job and staying in the shit relationship. Where for you, this is not working, I need to move on. This is not working, I need to move on. And I think that's a really nice thing because you're not going to be 40 years old or 45 years old and realize you've been asleep for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing. Even though it feels like you keep scraping at yourself and you have a level of unhappiness.
But it's good to, what's made a difference already is you just saying that is the way I am.
Yeah.
If that is the way I am, I can accept it.
That's right. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Okay, the rising sign is our outer persona, how we project ourselves. The sun is deep down who I am. The moon is my emotional nature. So the moon represents the mother. The moon represents how I feel safe and secure in the world, because most of us felt safe and secure with mommy when we were little kids. The moon is my feminine side. The moon is our relationship with women. Most importantly, the moon is the emotional nature. okay? Which is different from the sun sign, deep down who you are, and different from the rising sign, the outer persona. So the sun is, or the moon is at 8 degrees Aquarius. Remembering Aquarius is a cool, aloof, and detached. Okay, Scorpio rising, you're passionate and intense on one level. The moon in Aquarius would tell me, you can pull out and love to people watch, like to be on the periphery, like to watch what's going on. Aquarians are very warm-hearted. Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon. They're very warm-hearted people, but they tend to be very pulled back. They love to watch from a distance. Okay? Aquarius is an air sign, so it means you can be a little more mental. Again, that watching from the periphery and being in the mind, watching. Aquarius is the sign of metaphysics, the metaphysician, intuition, psychic ability, things like that. So we see the 11th house is Aquarius, and you have 2 planets in the 11th house.